So let's start with 13-11. Problem 13-11 class is a good candidate for a problem that will come out on our exam on Tuesday. Okay, but of course, expect that instead of being asked only one question from this problem, you could be asked multiple questions from this problem. Okay, so the question here is, what is the total asset of Polo Company after the acquisition? So you should just remember that if you're asked for your total assets, you just add the assets of the acquirer with the assets of the acquiree. But you also should remember that the valuation that you will use would be that for the assets of the acquirer, it would still be at its book value or carrying amount, but the amounts to be included in the assets of the acquiree, for the assets of the acquiree, in the combined assets would be the fair value. Only the assets of the acquiree will be revalued to their fair values. The assets of the acquirer will remain at book value. But again, also remember that you will have to take note that there may be some accounts that will be affected by reason of the combination. So the simple rule is to just add assets of the acquirer with the assets of the acquiree. Remember, acquirer, book value or carrying amount, acquiree, fair value. But again, for certain accounts, there are things to remember, especially if they are involved in the combination. Particularly what asset is normally affected as a result of a combination class. That you will have to always check if there are any transaction affecting it. Number one would be your cash. Always check for your cash if there are any payments made to affect the combination. Second would be to check whether or not the combination resulted in goodwill. Because if it resulted in goodwill, then the resulting goodwill will be included in the combined assets. So if there's a goodwill class, it will be assets of the acquirer plus assets of the acquiree plus the resulting goodwill. Okay? So we can do this. So my advice would be to always check for the resulting goodwill or gain. And what are the two things you need to solve for goodwill or gain class? Consideration and the fair value of the net assets. Okay? But again, just a reminder, we're doing all this because the problem asks for the total assets. So the first thing I want to do is to determine first whether the combination resulted in a goodwill or gain. And the two things you need to solve for goodwill or gain is the consideration and the fair value of the net assets. Let's start with the consideration because normally it would be given, but sometimes not directly. In this case, in problem 11 class, the consideration is mixed, meaning it's partly in cash and partly through the issuance of shares or your equity instruments. No problem with your cash. It's always at fair value. The face value is equal. Is equal to its fair value. So you just add the 270. You add it with the value of the shares. How many shares are issued, class? 18,000 shares. But again, everything in business combination is to be measured at fair value, class. Okay, the consideration in a business combination will also be measured at fair value. So how much then should we include as part of our consideration as the value of the shares? Should it be the par value class? No, it should be the market value of 330,000. So the total consideration then is how much? 270 plus 330, that would be 600. Next, the second thing we need would be your fair value of your net assets. Okay, and then here you just add again the assets of the acquirer with the assets of the acquiree. Just remember that if it's the acquiree, it should be at fair value. Class, I should keep on repeating that because you should not forget that, class. If you forget that basic rule, then most of your answers will end up being wrong, class. Okay, so, sorry, we're not yet looking for the combined cash. We're just combined assets. We're just looking for the net assets of the acquiree. First would be your cash. It would be at 40. Inventories would be at 100. Okay, you can actually crash out the column for the book value of the acquiree class. Other current assets would be at 20. Plant assets would be at 180, and then total of 340. Deduct the liabilities of 30 and 40, you will have 70. 340 minus 70 will give you 270,000. Okay, and we have the two things we need to solve for our goodwill or gain. What do? Deduct the fair value of the net assets from the consideration. Consideration is 600,000. Fair value of the net assets is 270,000. Okay, so that will give you a difference of 330. Is this a goodwill or a gain? Goodwill, because the consideration is greater. Okay, and what do we do with this goodwill? This should be included in your computation for total assets. Okay, so if we have goodwill, what else do we need? We just need to combine all the other assets. Okay, let's do this line by line. For cash class, it's 350 plus 40, correct? But again, what are the things I want you to remember or to look out for cash? Check if there is a consideration that is payable in cash. What else? Check for any payments for acquisition-related costs and stock issuance cost. Because if they are paid in cash, then they will also affect the combined assets class. Okay, so 350 plus 40. Are you following, class? 350 plus 40, and then minus what? The 270. Okay, and then deduct the stock issuance cost of 30. And then also deduct the acquisition-related cost for the professional fees in the amount of 70. Okay, so 350 plus 40. And then, sorry, not plus, 350 plus 40 minus 270 minus 30 and minus 70. How much will that give you, class? How much? How much, class? 20 lang? 20. Negative? 390 minus 270, 120 minus 120. So the cash after the combination would be 20. So that could be one possible question in the exam. Are you following? Same problem, or I could just change one item, class. I could just change cash to 360, and to balance out the assets and liabilities and equity, I will make current liabilities from 160 to 170. And the first question would be, how much would be the resulting goodwill or gain? And again, your answer would be 330. Second question, how much would be the cash after the acquisition? Okay, and in this problem, our answer would be 20. Next, inventories. What do we do with inventories? Just add, because it's not affected by the transactions leading to the acquisition. So you'll have 120, and what do you add with the 120? Do you add the 80 or the 100? 100. So your combined inventories would be 220. Please write down these figures. Other current assets of the acquirer is 30. The acquiree is 20. So you will have 50. Then plant assets of 260 plus 180, you would get, how much is that? 440. So again, cash was 20, inventories was 220. Help me here. And then other current assets is 50, and then plant assets is 440. So 440 plus 50, 490 plus 320. 220. How much is that? 700. 710 plus 20, you will have 730. But why is our answer not 730, class? What have we not included? Do not forget to include the resulting goodwill. So 730 plus 330 will give you how much? 1,060,000. So the answer would be 1,060,000. Okay, so another possible question, how much would be the combined liabilities? How much will be the total liabilities after the acquisition? So you just add liabilities of the acquirer with the liabilities of the acquiree. So 160 plus 80 and 30 and 40. How much is that? 150. Is that 310? 160 and then the 80, just the liabilities, 160 plus 80 plus 30 and 40 will give you 310. Okay, that's another possible question. Okay, because I hope you understand what we're doing here. I'm trying to tell you what can come out in the examination. Next, how much would be the total shareholders' equity after the combination? Okay, diba, there's one thing you have to remember here, that if it's the equity after the acquisition, it's just the equity of the acquirer. Assets, assets of the acquirer and acquiree. Liabilities, liabilities of the acquirer and acquiree. But if you're asked for equity, whose equity will remain, class? Only the equity of the acquirer. Okay? So how much is the equity of the acquirer here? 420 and 100. But your answer will not be 520 because the 520 is the balance of the equity immediately before the combination. And what is being asked? You're asked for the balance of the equity after the combination. Is there any transaction affecting your equity in between the immediately before and the immediately after? Yes. What happened? We issued shares. How many shares were issued? 18,000. And at what price? At what value? It was issued at a value of 330. Or we can break down the question further, class. How much is the common stock immediately after the combination? So again, our answer will not be 420 because to effect the combination, the acquirer issued 18,000 shares. By how much will your common stock account increase? Will it increase by 330, class? Common stock. By how much will it increase? Only by the par value. How much is the par value of these 18,000 shares? The par value per share is 10. So the total additional par value would be how much? 180. So your common stock then would increase by 180. So the common stock after the combination would be 600. Okay, it would be 600. And then you will now have share premium. How much will be the share premium? How much was the par value of the 18,000 shares? 180. How much was the total value? 330. So you will have share premium of 150. Am I correct? 330 minus 180. You will have share premium of 150. But what did I want you to remember for share premium? What did I want you to remember for share premium? Deduct what? Class, you're not prepared, class. What are you going to deduct to your share premium? From the issuance of the shares. The stock issuance cost. How much is the stock issuance cost? 70. This is to be charged to your share premium. So the net change or the net increase in your share premium will just be, how much was it, class? 150? Was it 150? 150 minus 70 will give you how much? 80. So your share premium would be 80. So you have common stock of 600, share premium of 80. Next, retained earnings. Again, whose retained earnings will remain? Only the retained earnings of the acquirer. But there are items affecting our retained earnings to affect the combination. So our retained earnings after the acquisition will not be 100. What are the things that could affect the retained earnings? What expenses? It would be the acquisition related cost in the amount of 30. Okay, so you deduct the 30. Okay, and that is the only amount relevant here. But for other problems, make sure nga, if the acquisition resulted in a gain on acquisition, you will close it or add it to your retained earnings. If the stock issuance cost exceeds the resulting share premium, then the excess would be charged also to your retained earnings. Because this is already mentioned in the recording I have shared. Okay, so your retained earnings would be 100 minus 30. So it will just be 70. So your total equity then is common stock of 600, share premium of, how much was the share premium? 80, and then retained earnings of 70. So will that give you a total of 750? Okay. Then how much was our total liabilities we computed earlier? 310. 310 plus, pila tong equity class, how much is the equity? 750. 750 plus 310. How much is it? 1,060,000, which is equal to our total assets, because assets should be equal to your liabilities and equity. So if this problem comes out in the exam, what are the possible questions? Number 1, compute for the resulting goodwill or gain. Number 2, compute for cash after the acquisition. Number 2, compute for total assets. Number 4, compute for total liabilities. Number 5, compute for share. Okay, I can just ask one question for total shareholders' equity. Okay. Next, let's proceed to problem 12. On March 1, SS Corporation acquired for 1,400,000 all the net assets. Let's proceed to the question. The journal entry prepared to record the business combination includes, on the date of the combination, the carrying amount of MM's identifiable net assets was 1,150,000. The current fair value of the inventories was 200 less than their carrying values. And the current fair value is of the plant assets was 400,000 larger than the carrying amount. The current fair values of the other identifiable assets were equal to their carrying value. What entry will be prepared? So we'll have to go through the choices, class. Letter A, a debit of 200,000 to inventories is wrong because when you prepare the entry and when the assets are transferred, then it should be recorded at their fair value. But definitely letter A is wrong because what happened to the fair value, class? The fair value is lower. So if that's the case, you are supposed to decrease your inventories. And how do you decrease your inventories? You decrease it by, how do you decrease inventories? Debit or credit? Class, how do you decrease inventories? Debit or credit? Credit. Okay, so the answer should not be letter A. Letter B, what happened to the fair value of your plant assets? The fair value is larger. Okay, so if you're supposed to increase the fair value of an asset, how do you do that? Do you do that with a debit or a credit? Debit. So definitely letter B is wrong. For letter C and letter D, it's just a matter of determining whether it resulted in a goodwill or gain. Or we're only left one choice. It's goodwill. The question now is, how much is the goodwill? And what are the two things you need to solve for goodwill, class? Consideration and the fair value of the net assets. Are we given with the consideration? Yes, 1,400,000. Are we given with the fair value of the net assets? Not directly. What did the problem say? The carrying amount is 1,150,000, but there are items that wherein the fair value is not equal to the carrying value. So, what do we do with the 200,000 decrease inventory? Decrease in inventory. Deduct. So that the carrying amount will reflect the fair value. You deduct the 200 from the 1,150,000. What else? What do you do with the 400? You add. So 1,150,000 minus 200 plus 400 will give you 1,350,000. And that will be the fair value of the net asset. So 1,400,000 minus 1,350,000, the resulting goodwill is 50,000. So the answer there is delta. Next, the questions here are the non-current assets and goodwill or gain from acquisition acquired should be recorded at. I prefer to always start with the goodwill computation, class. What are the two things you need to solve for goodwill or gain? Consideration and the fair value of your net assets. Are we given with our consideration in this problem? Yes, it is your 160. So we just need to get the second thing, which is the fair value of the net assets. The market values of its assets is how much? 80 and 120. So the assets, total assets would be 200. Is this what we need? No, what we need is our net assets. So what do we do with the 200? Deduct your liabilities. So 200 minus 20, that will give us our net assets at fair value, which is how much? 180. So the resulting goodwill would be, is it a goodwill or gain? Gain, because the net assets are greater. So 160 minus 180, you will have a gain of 20,000. And that leaves us with only one choice, which is letter A. But of course, the non-current assets could easily be answered, class, because what's the rule? At what amount should the assets from the acquiree be recorded, class? Fair value. And how much is the fair value of your non-current assets? 120. So definitely the answer is letter A. Next problem. Question here is, what should be the amount recorded as goodwill by Rolex Company as a result of the business combination? Okay, you'll notice that the most commonly asked question here would be the amount of goodwill or gain. And it should not be difficult to answer, class. You only need two things to solve for goodwill or gain. And what are these two things, class? Consideration and the fair value of your net assets. Let's start with the consideration. Is it given? Yes, Rolex Company paid 600,000 for the net assets. And as is the usual, class, most problems would give you the consideration. The challenge really on your part will just be to solve for the fair value of your net assets. Because you're given there with the table 60, 180, 360, and 135. Okay, is this at book value or at fair value? Book value. Okay, on this date, the assets and liabilities of Seiko Company were as follows. Okay, but the next paragraph would give us possible adjustments to reflect the fair value. It was determined that the merchandise had a fair market value of 142,500. So instead of 180, you should be using 142,500. And then plant assets, instead of 360, you will be using 420. Okay, so you add your total assets. 60 plus 142,500 plus 420, that's how much? Is it 622,500? How much? 60 plus 420, that's 500. It's 642. Ah, 622, 500. Okay, but we do not use the 622, 500, correct? Because what we need is not your total assets, but your net assets. So what do? Deduct the liabilities of 135. So 622, 500 minus 135 will give you how much? 487,500. Okay, so do we have the two things we need to solve for goodwill, class? Yeah, so consideration of 600 minus fair value of net assets in the amount of 487,500, you would get 112,500. Class, what do I have to change in the problem so that the answer would be letter D? One thing I can change is to change 142,500 to 142,000. Next, the question for problem 15 is, immediately following the combination, the net assets of the combined company should have been reported at what amount? So this time we're asked for combined net assets. What does that mean? It would be your assets minus your liabilities. Total assets minus total liabilities. Okay? But again, what do I suggest you do if you're asked for total assets class? Solve first for the resulting goodwill or gain. So let's do that. What are the two things you need to solve for goodwill or gain? Consideration minus fair value of net assets. Plus, it's unforgivable for you not to remember how to solve for goodwill or gain. Okay, let's start with the consideration. Is it given somewhere in the problem? MM's common stock issued was worth 1 million. So this would be our consideration. Next, fair value of the net assets. At the date of combination, MM is the acquirer, correct? Okay, let's focus first on PP class, which is our acquiree. The net assets, the book value of 650 and a fair value of 800. So we don't even have to solve for assets minus liabilities because the amounts given are already the net assets already. Okay. So which of the two valuations is relevant? The 650 or the 800? 800. Again, it should be your fair value. Do we have the two things we need to solve for your goodwill or gain? Yes. We have the 1 million consideration and the fair value of the net assets at 800. So 1 million minus 800, you'll have a difference of 200. Is this a goodwill or gain? Goodwill. So will this form part of our total assets? Yes. Okay. What else do we need? We just need the net assets of the acquirer. Are we given with two valuations? Yes, but which of the two is relevant? The 1.2 million or the 1.6 million? If it's the acquirer, it will remain at its book value. So the 1.2 million plus the fair value of 800 and then plus the goodwill of 200. So the answer here would be 2,200,000. Plus the answer could easily be changed, class, if I will just change the consideration, class. Okay? Very easy to change the answer to these kind of problems. Now, there are several things I want you to be careful of, class. If case you're asked for total assets, you have to take note of cash payments, correct? But here is any part of the consideration paid in cash? No, the consideration is paid through the issuance of shares. Did the problem mention about acquisition-related costs? No. Did it mention of stock issuance cost? No. So there's nothing to be careful of as regards our cash. So that's why our answer is simply the goodwill plus the 1,200,000 plus the 800 plus. Again, be careful if there are other items affecting your assets. Problem 16. Question here is, at what amount should BB's plant and equipment be recorded on AA company's books? So based on this question, I can conclude that BB should be the acquiree while AA is the acquirer. What happened? The net assets of BB company have a book value of 300 and a fair market value of 420. Among the undervalued assets are the plant and equipment, which have a book value of 200,000 and a fair value of 225. AA company issues stock with a par value of 250 and a market value of 600 for the net assets of BB. Shortly after the stock issue, BB merges with AA. And the question is just asking for the valuation of the PPE. What valuations are given for the PPE class? 200 and 225. The 200 is the book value and the 225 is the fair value. And again, which one is relevant as far as the assets and liabilities of the acquiree is concerned? Fair value. So the answer here would be 225. Very easy, class, correct? Do we expect this question to come out in your exam? No. 13-17, what is the stockholders' equity of Acquisition Incorporated after the acquisition? Okay, what are we supposed to remember for shareholders' equity after the acquisition, class? Is it the equity of the acquirer plus the equity of the acquiree? No, if it's equity, class, it's only the equity of the acquirer. And then, focus then on the acquirer. Who is the acquirer here? Why is it Tiger at the start of the problem and then acquisition? Tiger is the acquiree. Okay. Acquisition is the acquirer. On January 1, 2017, acquisition issues 10,000 shares with 10 par value stock with market value 50 per share for the net assets of Tiger Company. So basically, the acquisition company is the new company after the acquisition. Let's see. How many shares were issued, class? 10,000. And then, at what amount, class? Again, it should be valued at its, how much? It should be valued at its fair value. And how much is the market value or fair value per share? It is 50. So 10,000 times 50, you would get 500,000. And that would already be the answer. But how can we break down the 500,000, class? For the share capital, just use the par value first, 10,000 times 10. You will have share capital of 100,000, and then where else will the rest go? It will go to your share premium or your additional paid-in capital in the amount of 400,000. I don't think this is a good problem. For this to be a good problem, you should have a previous balance for the equity of the acquirer. Okay, the answer there would simply be 500,000. 13-18, what would be the entry to record the acquisition? Which, with the following entry, assuming stock issuance costs amounting to 405,000. So to record the acquisition, class, transfer the assets, transfer the liabilities, record the consideration, paid, and also make sure to check whether it resulted in a goodwill or gain. So as always, class, check for the goodwill or gain. What are the two things you need to solve for goodwill or gain? Consideration and the fair value of the net assets. We've already computed for the consideration, class, which was which is how much, class? Consideration is 500. Next, fair value of the net assets. How much is the fair value of the net assets? It's 625 minus 125. How much is the difference? 625 minus 125. 500. So that means there is no goodwill or gain because the consideration is equal to the fair value of the net assets. So what do? We just transfer the assets and the liabilities. How much is the assets, class? Current assets at 225, plant assets at 400. So will these accounts be debited or credited? Debited because they will have to be recognized in the books of the acquirer. Which of the choices satisfy that entry, class? 225 and 400. C and D. But we know now that letter C is wrong because we know that there was no resulting goodwill. So the correct answer here must be letter D. But let's just continue, class. What else do we do? Recognize the liabilities. How much is the liabilities? 125. So this should be credited. Next, what else will happen? The capital stock or share capital in the amount of 100. Okay? But why do we not see any share premium or additional paid-in capital here? Because what does problem 18 want us to assume? Assume that stock issuance cost amounting to 405 was incurred. What's the rule for your stock issuance cost, class? Charge them to your stock issuance cost. If they are paid in cash, then where should they be charged? Charge them to your share premium arising from the issuance of shares. Pila raman to ang share premium. How much was the additional share premium here? 400. How much was the total stock issuance cost? 405. So that's why there is no share premium here, because fully exhausted si additional share premium. Do you follow? Okay, because again, there's an additional information provided in this problem. So nahurot si share premium. But there is still excess of 5,000. Supposedly, what will be the treatment for this 5,000? This would be charged to your retained earnings. But in this case, it was not yet immediately closed to retained earnings. It was just recorded as stock issuance cost. That is why you have a debit there to stock issuance cost. But later on, this amount will be close to your retained earnings. What does the credit to 405,000 cash represent there, class? Payment of the stock issuance cost. Okay, that's why the answer there is letter D. Because if this comes out, make sure you can correctly answer this problem.